It is a pleasure meeting you once again, friends. Today, I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Know All. You must have heard about Somerset Maugham, the great novelist. Once, he was going from San Francisco to Japan on a ship. He had to share his cabin with a man called Max Calada. Somehow, even before seeing the man, Somerset Maugham didn't like him for no rhyme or reason. After seeing him, he didn't like him all the more. The man's appearance, his behavior, his manners, his luggage, his personal belongings, nothing appealed to him. In short, Somerset Maugham did not like him at all. He was wondering how he was going to spend the whole time of travel with a man whom he didn't like. Somerset Maugham wanted to be left alone. He was not in a mood to talk to people. So he took a pack of cards and went to the smoke room and started playing Patience. Patience is a card game which can be played by one person. While he was playing, he felt somebody was standing in front of him. He looked up to see who it was. A gentleman asked him if he was Somerset Maugham. Maugham said yes. And that man extended his hand to shake. And Maugham shook hands with him. He said his name was Max Calada and he was his cabin mate. And he was talking about a number of things. While Maugham was talking to him, he was playing Patience. He was continuing the game. And he was answering to him in gesture. That man was talking about a variety of things, ranging from movies, books, to ordinary things. Right. At one point of time, that man started prompting Maugham which card he has to turn. Maugham was slightly getting irritated. He was controlling himself and at the right moment, he escaped from him. And Calada went after other people. Within 3 days, Calada became very famous in the ship. He was in fact running the ship, we can say, because he was managing the sweeps, he was arranging a party, he was organizing a music concert, he was collecting money for sports and doing a number of things. And he was everywhere and always. So, the people on board the ship gave him a nickname. They called him Mr. Know-All. And he was a very jovial man, talkative and argumentative. Some people told him to his face that they called him Mr. Know-All. And he took it as a compliment. Well, one day after dinner, some of the inmates were engaged in a conversation. The topic turned out to be about pearls. So one gentleman said, the Japanese make such wonderful cultured pearls that in future, the business of the original pearl may be affected. And to which Mr. Know-All gave his opinion. There was a man called Mr. Ramsay in the group. Mr. Ramsay, like Maugham, didn't like the forwardness of Mr. Calada. That was Mr. Know-All. He didn't know anything about pearls, but he wanted to say something against the statement of Mr. Know-All. So he said something. And Mr. Know-All immediately became animated. No, I ought to know my business, he said. I am on my way to Japan. I am going to Japan to study about pearl business. I can easily find out an original pearl from a duplicate. For example, the pearl necklace that Mrs. Ramsay is wearing is original. Mr. Ramsay had a smile on his face. He asked Mr. Nowell, "Can you guess how much it would cost?" Immediately, Mr. Nowell answered, "It must be not less than $15,000. The smile on Mr. Ramsay's face extended to a grin and ended in a chuckle. He said, "Mrs. Ramsay bought the necklace for $18 from a departmental store in New York." Mr. Ramsay was employed with the consulate service. Mr. Nowell's face flushed, but still he persisted. No. I know those pearls are real, especially the size and the fine string. It is real. So Mr. Ramsay said, "Shall we take a bet? $100. So Noel said, "Oh, I don't mind losing $100. I know for certain that those are real pearls. But can I have the necklace so that I can handle it and tell you?" So Mrs. Ramsay was telling her husband, "Elmer, why go for a bet? Leave it, Elmer. How can it be proved?" She was trying to dissuade Mr. Ramsay from going for a bet. But Mr. Nowell said, no, I can very easily find out a fake from the original. So he took the necklace in his hand and he was just assessing it. A look of triumph came over his face and he raised his eyes from the pearls and caught the eyes of Mrs. Ramsay. Mrs. Ramsay's eyes desperately pleaded with him not to speak the truth. Her face was pale. She was looking nervous. It appeared as if she would faint any moment. The desperateness in her eyes made Mr. Nowell change his opinion. He opened his mouth to say one thing, but said actually, "I'm sorry, I'm mistaken. This is not original. It deserves only $18. He gave back the necklace to Mrs. Ramsay and took took $100 note and gave it to Mr. Ramsay. Then they all dispersed. They went to their respective rooms. The next morning, Somerset Maugham woke early. He heard somebody or someone scratching the door, and he found someone pushing a cover under the door. He picked up the cover. It was addressed to Max Caleda. He woke up Caleda and gave the cover. Caleda tore off the cover and took the letter, and there was $100 note. He read the letter and tore the letter to pieces and put them in the dustbin. Pocketed the $100 note. Then he told Somerset Maugham, "I can't be made a fool. I can't afford to be made a fool." Mom asked him, "Were the pearls real?" Mr. Nowell said, "Yes." "Oh, such a good man," thought Mr. Somerset Maugham. If only he had told the truth that the pearls were real, the family life of Mr. and Mrs. Ramsay would have been shattered. This talkative man had saved the harmony of family life. Now he liked Mr. Nowell. The man who didn't like him at all started liking him now. Mr. Nowell rose in the estimate of Mom. Mom must have come across this incident. but he has mingled fact with fiction and has rendered it so beautifully in his own style, which teaches us that appearances are deceptive in persons and also in objects. Thank you.